Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming without faces. I am the Majestic Snare, and with me is my faithful servant, Lee.
Yes, I'm afflicted, not with COVID-19. Oh no, it's worse than the coronavirus. I have the soul virus.
Is that a reference I can't quite place?
Yeah, soul Mexican lager.
Okay, right, that was poor. I was expecting some sci-fi reference that I was going to give you the chance to call me stupid, but actually I can call you stupid, so that's good.
I don't need a chance to call you stupid. I just call you stupid. It's fine.
Well, I think we'll start off today's little chat podcast update channel situation with a christening. Well done. I don't have any beer with me. I've literally just finished work. But one of the things I wanted to mention is obviously what's happening and what's impacting on the channel because of the virus and stuff in the UK. So hopefully everybody watching this, both of you are okay and not affected too badly at the moment. Things are getting stranger and stranger as days go on, and obviously Lee and I don't live in the same house, so we're not going to be doing any filming for the foreseeable future the way we have done in the past with us sitting on the couch. So you know, big love to everybody that's gets involved in the channel and likes our content. If you're out there, let us know. But we are obviously going to be trying to make some videos, but the schedule is going to be all twisted up and screwed. So don't expect regular videos in the next, I don't know, 3 to 6 months. We'll try and get out content as and when we can, and you know, individual stuff should be okay. But if we don't drop a video on a certain day during the week, then don't panic. We haven't disappeared off the face of the earth. But neither of us are sick. I don't know what your situation is, Lee. Are you still going into work?
No, I'm working from home at the moment.
Okay. I'll be working in the office on Monday, so we'll have to just see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, basically, we wanted to do something to cover a few bits that is going forward with the channel and where we are and what we're doing. So in addition to that, I think it's important to note that our content isn't going to be as frequent potentially as it has been. We've managed we have managed a 5-year cycle, keeping to whatever schedule we've dictated to ourselves, which I think is an achievement. And it took a worldwide global pandemic to stop us. So
Yeah, we're pretty hardy in that regard. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more going to be impactful on the videos that we have to do together. I mean, for our regular schedule, there's no reason one of us can't throw something together. So we'll see how it goes. If either of us comes down with it, obviously, then that may throw a spanner in the works. But at the moment, I am isolated with lots of alcohol and chicken wings, so I should be fine.
yeah, and I think we have been doing a bit of a discussion on the next review, and we've decided on the latest or sequel, I suppose it is, to Ori and the Will o' the Wisp.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something we're going to try and do kind of in a remote to location setting. So it might be done as a bit of a podcast. I'll look into some kind of camera shenanigans if there's anything we can do there, Lee. So this is designing it on the channel like podcast, but if we can do some stuff so we can get our faces on there, might help. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into any review stuff of Ori, but it definitely feels like it's been made by the same people in the same vein, and it's just as enjoyable at the moment. I haven't dug into it properly yet, probably a couple of hours here and there. But yeah, it's good. It's good. So long may it continue, and we can provide the full breakdown review at another date. So that'll be fun. So I don't know when that's going to be coming out, probably in a couple of weeks. See what goes down. Yeah, but big news. Let's get into the chunk of things I wanted to talk about today of PS5 specs.
Yeah, that's really all we got, though, isn't
Yeah. Well, they obviously want to do some kind of bigger announcement to show it off and stuff. They weren't going to do it at E3. They cancelled their Sony stand at E3.
Well, E3's been cancelled.
But yeah, but they pulled out well before that came through, didn't they?
Mm.
So I mean, it's the thing is, they seem to be flip flopping in terms of over the cycles or the generations of consoles. The difference between when you're doing like with PS3 was like really powerful, but the Xbox had the better games and people enjoyed that better, or the Xbox 360, sorry. And then when it came to the next generation, the PS4 and the Xbox One, it kind of flipped over, and PS4 had all the good games as exclusives. It was a much more kind of acceptable console than the Xbox One, and I think a lot it did eclipse it in sales. Maybe not eclipse, but it did do better. So
Yeah,
I
it
think they
did
might be going the
seem,
other way again, like flipping
yeah,
back.
yeah, it did seem to me to be that whatever companies came out and said, yeah, we want to be a media box, is the one that lost, because the PS3 was intended to be the centerpiece of your home entertainment experience, because it had a Blu-ray player and you could hook up to your stereo and all that. And of course, with the Xbox One, they had all that fucking streaming TV
And
and
Sport TV, yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and pass through for your fucking satellite box or whatever. So yeah, I mean, the other console just went, fuck it, we've got games, look, and they won. In this one, we're getting nothing from Sony pretty much, though, outside of what was basically a developers conference that everybody thought would be like an E3 presentation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the weird thing is that now, 2 cycles and 2 generations on, you're probably looking at the concept of having something as a centerpiece in your front room as not being that alien anymore. The connectivity is a lot more prevalent in devices. The idea of how to connect things to other things is a lot more established. So the idea of having it as a centerpiece, kind of bit of kit, it's always going to be a jack of all trades. You have to accept that. But the connection to your TV and your stereo, and I'm still one of those people that likes to, buy Blu-rays. But that functionality is going to be there. So I don't think it will hurt any particular console that tries to do that. But it shouldn't
Well,
be what it bases its whole like USP on.
Well, it's the problem of targeting your market, because people that buy a PlayStation or an Xbox will buy it to play games upon it. They won't buy it to watch Blu-rays on. Although in the case of the PS3, it was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market at time of launch. Uh, and then you get people that want to watch Blu-rays and have high fidelity sound and stuff like that, and they won't get a console because they don't want to play games. And they're like, "That's for playing games." So it's really just the fact that they need to work out if they want to be just a household piece of equipment or an actual gaming device.
Yeah, yeah. It's well, I have a lot of love for Sony and what they've done over the years with the consoles, and I am. If you consider me one or the other, I am a bit of a Sony fanboy. I've never owned an Xbox.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got the Xbox One now, which I barely use because I've got Game Pass. So what point is there in having an Xbox anymore? But yeah, Sony have not been the saints you make them out to be. I mean, you remember when PS3 originally released and you could play PS2 games on it, and they took that out, and now you have to buy the
well,
PS2 games.
to be fair, they didn't just take it out. It was like the next model that was started to be shipped, wasn't it? It's not like they disabled the ones that could do it.
No, they had they had hardware in the first one, and then software in the second one, and then they removed it entirely in the third revision.
And I've never had a problem with that because I would never play a PS2 and PS1 game on my PS3.
I play fucking PS2 games. In fact, I was playing SmackDown. Here comes the pain just before we started this on my on my massively expensive PC.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with that because you know, I'll always invest my time into current gen stuff, and occasionally I might go for a bit of a retro feeling, but it's not often enough to warrant having an entire functionality in a current console like that. I don't
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, but I mean, I have games. I have PS2 games that I can't play on the console. But if I bought them on the Sony network again, I could play them on the console.
It's called business, mate.
It's called ripping me the fuck off, mate.
Yes, it is. But no, I'm not making them out to be a saint. I'm just saying that my experience of console gaming is very one-sided. I've always had a good time using my Sony consoles, and I don't really have a problem with it. Um, it's
Yeah,
it's gone.
sorry. certainly the out of the two consoles, I actually prefer the Xbox One. I just think the build quality is better. It's not as creaky in terms of the plastic used. It makes nice noises when you push the buttons. I actually know where the fucking power button is and don't hit the eject button by accident, or vice versa, which I'm forever doing on those tiny little fucking buttons on the PS4. Um, and generally, I like the interface better as well. And the controllers are much better to my mind as well. So I like so many things about the Xbox, but it's like I said, since Game Pass became a thing, there is absolutely no reason for me to own that other than to use it as a slightly better Blu-ray player because the drive's nicer on it. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, the specs that came out, that there was some stuff that I was like, okay, that sounds halfway decent, and up to kind of comparable to the specs we know about the other console. I said the other, you know what I mean. I don't know what's the actual name of it. Xbox something.
Series X.
You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah, I think they're releasing a couple though, so they'll be like tiered.
You know what the ones after this then will be? Xbox Series X, One X.
Yeah, I can't remember what the acronym was for it, but
that's one thing Sony have just won on by sticking to just doing a number. Fucking come on. Like,
yeah, true. I mean, they do have, you got you had like the
PS4
various
Pro.
versions. Yeah, the various versions of the 360, and you had like the slimline version of the Xbox One, the Xbox One S. Then you had the powerful one, which is Xbox One X, and now it's the Xbox Series X, and it's just like, it's not the 90s anymore, mate. You don't need to put X in absolutely everything.
Maybe the next one's going to be called like the Xbox Cyber X.
Or Extreme with no E.
Oh, bless the 90s. Anyway, no, I think the specs that I was looking into, I was watching a video when they were sort of announcing, watched a couple of videos, people going into them, and I'm not going to go into particular specs at the moment because they do sound very, very similar, but just like they've umped and amped like certain elements more than others. But there was a couple of bits in there that I was just sat there going, I've got to call bullshit till I see this in action. And that's the I can't remember what they called it, but it's the functionality to map your head and the size of the space between your ears. This has got to be an April Fool's joke, surely. But basically the 3D mapped audio experience apparently needs to know how fat your head is, so that it can like properly show you the equivalent ray tracing of audio waves inside the immersive gaming experience. Now, I'm sorry, but I don't know how that's supposed to make me want to buy the console, and if it's just something they've put in, and how much time and money did they spend on it? Because it sounds like bullshit. It sounds like, okay, well, it's a nice thing, but what the fuck are you going on about? So,
well,
go on.
They've also got like I think it was a patent that they did for like single player microtransactions. So if you came up to a boss, it'd be like, 67% of players beat the boss on their first attempt using this item. Would you like to buy it from the PlayStation Store now?
Oh, are they doing the thing that Activision put the patent on?
It was slightly different.
Single player version.
Yeah, but so basically you have a little pop-up come up and offer to sell you stuff to make your gaming experience easier.
Fuckers.
I don't know if that's certain. I will just say that, but that is definitely rumored, and I think they've put a patent on it.
But that aside, I mean, just focusing on the specs of the machines, that's all we do really know about it. It sounds like it's going to be fine at the moment. I'm not singing from the rooftops. I probably will get one. Let's be perfectly honest. I probably will get one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get one as well. I mean, there's not even a choice for me because Sony will have games that I can't play unless I have a PlayStation. Xbox will have games I can play on my PC. So it's clear to me what I will be buying out of the next console generation.
And they have been knocking out the park in the last couple of years with games from their studios.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, games like Spider-Man was actually one of the PlayStation studios because it wasn't exclusive, wasn't it?
It was Insomniac.
Are they a PlayStation studio? They might be.
I'm not sure if they're own, but I can't remember seeing them doing anything on anything else. So maybe.
I think they might be, because they've done a lot of stuff with PlayStation. I'm not sure if they're actually owned by PlayStation, but I mean, that game for me was just how to do a console game, how to do an exclusive, because it was just so much fun. Hardly anything wrong with it, apart from you not getting a symbiote suit. But it was a game that I will look fondly on that generation and say that was the game that defined the PS4 for me. Like that, the memory of it is just going to be Spider-Man was my favourite time playing the PlayStation.
Yeah, it was just an outstanding experience all around. It was just absolutely so well judged in everything it did. It was magical.
It was magical. It was the first game on console that stopped me putting it down. By just kind of the way it took you from scene to scene and mission to mission and gameplay to gameplay, and what you were doing in it was the power fantasy stuff, which obviously I really enjoyed doing. I play Warframe, that's a big power fantasy, but it did that for me and kept me going with the game as long as I can remember. For I think it must have been the first game in, I don't know, since, well, the whole experience of playing on the PS4. That's probably the game that's made me stick with it the most.
Yeah, I think there's arguments to be made for God of War as well.
But I didn't get the pull on that. It was a good game, but I didn't have the pull.
No, to be fair, after I completed God of War, I've yet to replay it. Whereas Spider-Man, I've gone through a couple of times.
Yeah, I've not gone through Spider-Man again, but I still want to find time to go through the DLC, because I think I've bought it anyway.
Yep, done all that. So the DLC's okay. It's fine. It's probably not as good as the main game, but it's still good. There are like lots of like side activities you got to do as well, and some of them are quite annoying. So meh, but there you go.
That's what you expect. I did see a bit of news the other day, due to the coronavirus and stuff, that Steam had something like the highest record number of players online at the same time, concurrent players.
Yeah, it really hit at a bad time for me because I've literally just at the weekend, obviously when I rebuilt my PC, and I actually chose to reinstall Windows because it was bloaty as fuck, and so I've been reinstalling like 7 terabytes of games over the last week. And obviously everybody working from home and watching Netflix when they're supposed to be working, that's kind of impacting my download rates. I'm on a 200 meg connection. I'm getting like 70.
Oh, diddums.
Yeah, first world problems, I know.
Well, you should be working and not downloading shit.
I just download in the background. I don't have to do anything. I just queue up like 15 games and let it go.
Terribly unprofessional.
Yeah, you're just jealous.
I'm really not.
Power.
I'm really not. So yeah, so I saw the news about Steam doing kind of like the biggest concurrency that they've ever had, and to be honest, I haven't seen any problems with Steam while I've been using it. Mostly, sort of early evening through to late night, and I've not had any problems, any kind of issues like that. I know that a friend of mine who uses the GeForce, what's it called, GeForce Now, he's actually seen a bit of a problem in that because it's obviously dealing with just going through traffic on his internet connection. So he's playing a couple of rounds of Warframe with me, and he'll say, "Oh, it's really blocky." So he's seen an impact from overusage probably, but I haven't.
Well, you shouldn't be a cheapskate and spend £300 on something that can run Warframe.
Oh, he plays other stuff too.
Yeah.
He's not just playing Warframe, so it's not. He doesn't put it just to play Warframe.
I just thought because he was a friend of yours,
No, this person, which I will not name, but he plays Battlefield, plays Apex, lots of other games, and it's absolutely fine.
Rubbish online stuff, I see.
It's called games with friends, mate. So
yeah. My friends and my party members.
But yeah, so there's a lot of weird stuff happening at the moment, and I don't know how much it's going to impact game releases. It probably will a huge amount as we go on. Certainly, if people start to be made to self-isolate if they're in certain countries. Um, I'm not too sure what's going to be our next review after Ori. To be fair, there's a lot of stuff that's probably bubbling around, but nothing that's caught my eye.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of weird things happening in the digital medium because Netflix have announced that they're going to be throttling their streaming while everybody's working at home. It
Okay,
won't affect most users, but like 4K streaming is apparently going to be throttled down to like just full HD.
that's going to piss off people that paid extra.
Yeah, me.
You pay for 4K, you fucking idiot.
I have two 4K TVs. Why
Oh,
wouldn't I? It's like a couple of quid a month.
I know, but what are you going to do? Stamp your feet.
No, no, I don't give a shit. I just mentioned it because it was interesting.
I think it's funny in a Schadenfreude kind of way. I don't actually think people spending extra money to get a particular service that other people don't, then being throttled back. I mean, it's for the greater good and everything, but maybe they should be thinking about just giving them a refund for a few months. Pro rata.
Yeah, and my internet provider, the 200 meg internet ain't cheap. It ain't cheap at all, pal.
Again, silly, 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 silly.
You want to know how not cheap it is?
Well, if you want to tell people, I don't really care.
It's like 90 quid a month.
Fucking hell.
Yep. And we don't get like any of the TV or phone services, just the internet, 90 quid a month.
Well, I'm sure somebody in the comments will shout us for telling that the internet services in other countries is terrible. But 200, that's just decadent, isn't it?
Yes, but I like decadence. Who doesn't like decadence if they can have it?
Probably people that can't have it, so not quite the same.
Yes, but if they could, they'd love it.
Yeah, but I really don't think you'd see too much of a difference. I mean, if you're downloading a lot of shit, yeah, you would. But I've only got a 75 meg line. Just it doesn't make any difference to me. I can still do what I want and what I need to very, very quickly.
Yes, I can download games much quicker though, so my impulse buying doesn't need to be quite as reined in.
Yeah. So, did you say that you've recently upgraded your PC
I have, yes.
and that you've bought some swanky games to check it out on?
I have indeed. So I picked up Borderlands 3 when it launched on Steam, primarily because it was 50% off on launch day.
Mm-hmm.
It's Borderlands. That's what I'm going to say about that, really. It's just more Borderlands. Oh, some of your weapons have like alternate fire modes now, so there you go.
That'll really stress it.
Yeah, well, it runs obviously perfectly at 60 on maximum settings, but outside of that, at 1440, I haven't tried it on 4K. What did I buy? I bought Doom Eternal today on launch day.
Now, do you reckon that's a potential for a review?
Possibly. It's fucking difficult though, so you might not like it too much. Even on like the easiest settings, it's super easy to die because they've just like ramped up the aggression and the number of enemies over like 2016 Doom. It's a good game. It's a fun game. Feels good playing it. Oh yeah, but like Jesus Christ, I've died a lot on like the lowest difficulty.
Do you know what? I think when I used to be a big fan of original Doom 2, back in the day, and when Doom 3 came out, and it was the first one to be a bit more like photorealistic and full of creepy fucking in the dark bullshit. I remember playing that and thinking, I'm not playing a Doom game ever again because it's just too scary. Like the mechanic, if I remember, was you could point your gun like down a corridor, or you could use your torch. So you could switch between the two. So you'd be shining your torch, and then something would be charging at you, and then you have to go blind and just fire into the dark, like someone that was absolutely terrified. Yeah.
See, the modding community came out with the duct tape mod for that, where they theorized that somewhere on that space station there was a roll of duct tape, so he could stick his fucking flashlight to his gun.
Yeah, but I didn't mod it. I played like that, put it down, and was like, nope, I'm not playing that again. It was too scary.
It's not like I remember getting that. I remember I got it through alternative means. I have bought it now, but at the time I got it through alternative means. And yeah, I tried to run it and my graphics card just went, you haven't laughed, mate, fuck off. Because it was just melting the fucker. I had to turn it all right down.
Like, is it still valid to try out using like was it Crysis? That was always a benchmark.
Oh, Crisis. My old car could do Crisis at 60.
So oh, maybe not. What's the current kind of benchmark gain then?
Um,
Because Crysis held that
uh,
for a long time.
I would say Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm. We'd have to capture some footage and share it with people.
Well, everybody's done that, so I don't. But I did pick it up again on PC, like I said I probably would. And I'm actually having a lot better time with it using mouse control. So thank you for that.
I don't think I've actually bought it on PC yet.
It's really expensive, so probably best holding off because you probably won't play it anyway.
I will, but I just got to a point where I wanted to savor the experience of playing it, and I savored it so much that I never touched it for ages, and it became never. Because I was wondering at the time when we did the review whether it would be coming the next GTA Online, be capturing people's imaginations to play online, but they just fucked that completely up, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean it still has the online component, but it's not as huge as GT Online is by any stretch of the imagination. I imagine it's probably better now. You can probably have a fun time if that's what you're into, but no, I think everybody was soured on it from the initial experience.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I think what we need to do is to find some way to showcase your beast of a graphics card.
Well, it's not super beastly. It's only semi beastly.
Yeah, but it's affordable beastly.
It's it's only just affordable beastly.
Well, we're not talking thousands of pounds for a card, are we?
Oh god, no.
What was it? 300, 400, something like that? What was it?
650.
650. See, that's expensive, but it's not. I mean, it's like serious upgrade money, but it's not like it's not. You could build an entire PC for about that, and it'd be shit, right? But you could still build a PC for it. So I often look at the prices of doing that to be like, well, could I invest that much money into something for my PC? And I think 600 for a graphics card is upper limit, but it's expensive but doable and justifiable if you're into gaming and have the funds. If you don't, then there's other alternatives. I mean, 980 still doing me fine. It's still doing me fine. I mean, I'm starting to have to turn things down now, ever so slightly, but very rarely. I mean, and it doesn't really. It'll last for a couple of years still, I think, until I have to upgrade.
Yeah, I think certainly you'll be finding yourself turning things down a lot more. But the 980 is a very good card. I mean, it's still, if you buy it new nowadays, it's like £300.
It wasn't too much more than that when I built my rig to start with. I think
I think I bought mine around about £400.
Yeah, I think mine was about that, maybe like 350, something like that. But I got into 980s probably a year in, so a lot of the prices had come down by that point.
Yeah, but at the time that was like the good card because the 80 is always the card you sort of go for, isn't it, in the Nvidia line? So that was well before like the 1080s came out and obviously the 2080s as well. So that was the boy to have.
Is your card a big long beast as well?
Oh, he's a chunker, yeah. He's not as big as it gets. He's not like the triple fan variant. He's only a double fan, but he's got some girth to him, yeah.
I'm just thinking about space. I'm pretty sure I could fit it into my case, but
oh yeah,
I've got the same case as
you.
you.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, you've had to get a bigger one.
No. I just swapped out the case because I was sick of all the dust that accumulated all over it because it was so fucking textured on the outside.
Yeah, it does do that.
So I bought a Be Quiet Dark Base Pro 900 Revision 2, which was very expensive, but it's lovely.
I was just thinking, I'll get a picture of that for the podcast. I'm not going to be fucked to do that. Sorry, no.
That's all right. I already showed some video in my previous Let's Play.
You did? Yeah, I saw that.
Which no one has actually commented on the fact that one of my LED strips has fallen down. I didn't notice until I uploaded the video.
Oh, bless. Oh well, people live and learn, don't they?
Well, I'm hoping to get back up again tomorrow because I needed to buy a PWM extension cable because the fan controller, the one that came when it didn't reach the motherboard, because for some fucking reason my system found one header is right in the middle of my motherboard, except instead of on an edge. So it didn't actually reach. I had to buy an extension for it. Fix the drop down, LED strip. The pads on it are shit, so I'll probably have to figure out some other way of sticking it. And I'm replacing the power supply as well.
Well, if you're fixing things like forever, you can get that moldable glue. That's quite handy.
Oh, what the
Sugru.
Sucru? Yes, we might have some of that actually. That's
It hardens pretty well, and you can use it effectively like a plastic rubber. It's more plasticky than rubbery, but I suppose it depends on the ones you get.
Yeah, we did some plumbing repairs with that before.
Yeah, look at us old man podcasts now. Don't come for gaming, but you can come for some DIY.
Yeah, it didn't work. That's why I got a hole in my fucking kitchen ceiling.
Oh, you just shattered that illusion pretty quick. Well done.
No, I'm sure it's great. I'm just incompetent at DIY. That's why I don't do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we're like only about half an hour in, we should use this opportunity to ask if anybody wants particular videos or particular content to be covered during this trying, self-isolating, social distancing time that we're going through at the moment.
Like us playing Plague Inc.
God, that would be... Everyone's probably done that already, mate. Let's be honest. But certainly, I think in the UK with all these particular rulings, they've just shut all the pubs and clubs today. So all restaurants, pubs, and clubs closed today, like until further notice. I just wonder how long it's going to last for. The idea was that we'll turn the tide in 12 weeks' time, which takes us to like mid-June. But this is going to be around for a long time, and I don't know how much how free the life is going to be between now and literally next year. It's going to be a funny old time. So if anybody wants us to be covering stuff that is particular interest to them, because we're going to be more mobile, I'll be able to do like single vids here and there. I think as and when things pop up, maybe just jump on and we'll make something to help you consume that information. But if there's anything you want to see, let us know.
Boobs.
I'm not doing a boobs video.
Well, not yours.
No, I'm not going to be putting boobs on the channel. Fuck off.
Well, we've already said coronavirus several times. There's no chance of us ever monetizing the shit, so we might as well put boobs on as well.
Are they demonetizing coronavirus videos?
Yes. Basically, if you say like coronavirus in your video, you stand a good chance of getting demonetized.
Oh, YouTube used to be such a lovely thing. Now you're fucked. Demonetize that, bitches.
Well, we're not going to monetize it, so they can't demonetize it.
Exactly.
Gotcha, fuckers.
They can't demonetize you if you're not monetizing, can they?
Mm.
Just like the meme.
Let's play some licensed music as well.
Fuck it, might as well.
Nah, the two people that watch this won't sit for an advert, so better not.
I'll tell you what, my ad blocker's starting to wane a little bit on YouTube. They're getting a bit smart over there.
I don't use ad blocker.
I use an ad blocker.
You pig.
I don't want to watch adverts. Sorry.
Support the YouTubers you watch.
Nah. Nobody supports us.
This is true. Perhaps we should have a Patreon and give them the opportunity. That'd be the saddest thing on the planet, wouldn't it?
What, a Patreon with negative numbers on it? Yeah, supported by minus 1,000 patrons. We actually have to pay Patreon just to have a site on there.
$5 tier. You can come and live with me.
Love you forever. Yeah, there's lots of... I think Patreon has really changed the game there because I think it's an interesting concept because there are a lot of people that are able to get a lot of Patreons or patrons through Patreon and be able to continue making content at a decent kind of salary, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, even someone like Noah Ant Wireless, Spoonie, who doesn't really make videos anymore, just does the occasional Let's Play and his shit to people. He was still getting like $2,000 a month off of his Patreon. He's, and
It's
that was like
insane.
after he sort of had his falling out of grace. So it's people just forget about it. They're like, yeah, it's like $5 a month. I don't really care.
Yeah, but I suppose it's a nice way to support somebody you enjoy their content, and it's a cheap way to do it. Same on Twitch with the kind of subscription model they have. You know, tips and donations and subscriptions, it all comes together. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people worried about what's going on at the moment and turning to things and people are like, "Oh, are you okay? You're working from home, and blocking yourself out and not going out or anything like that." Well, whereas most people actually, certainly in our lifestyle of playing games quite a lot, it's what you're doing anyway. So it doesn't really feel too much difference. It's only going to be when you can't get hold of food or medicine or you get sick that it's really going to hit home for those people. But
Yeah, I mean, we had a shopping delivery come today. Nothing was missing. There were no substitutions, and we even had toilet roll on there. So, yeah.
bloody hell. And have you seen that clip of someone's put zombie noises over people like devouring a pallet of loo roll in the shop? It's fucking brilliant. Oh, it's just perfect. It's one of those things you're like, that didn't need to be done, but in some ways it did, and whoever did it first, well done, because it fitted so perfectly. You just had all these like noises straight out of Walking Dead. But then you just had these people like fighting over bog roll. I don't understand it.
I have a funny story to tell about Walking Dead in a moment, but first I feel as though I need to make a public service announcement.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you were a child, terry cloth was sufficient for containing shit. It can be again. The end.
Terry cloth? What's that?
Oh, it's just like when you had like cloth nappies, yeah?
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
So, like, wipe your ass, put it in a bag, and then wash the fucking thing. And you don't need toilet roll, right? So, why are you buying 500 toilet rolls, you twats?
People panic and think that it's not going to be there tomorrow.
Well, it isn't because they fucking bought them all, innit?
Yeah, but it's the what do they call it? It's the prisoner's dilemma. So you have two prisoners, and you basically give them a deal. If they both give up some information, then they both get like a reduced sentence. But if one person gives the evidence, the other person goes to jail and they get off free, and vice versa. Or if they both say no, they get a longer sentence. So in their head, they're like, okay, well, I'll just give you what you need, and I'll take everything and fuck the other person. And that's what happens in these panic situations. They just go into the shops and go, well, if I can get it now, then what if I won't be able to get it tomorrow because someone else will be thinking this, someone else will come in and buy it, so I better just buy it all. And that's what happens. Everyone has the same mentality, and then that goes to shit.
It certainly does, Ollie.
Oh, I'd love to see someone do a Photoshop of you as fucking Stan Laurel. That'd be amazing.
I do have kind of the Stan Laurel look to me.
Debatable.
Sort of like Walter the Softie.
Anyway, no, that just sounds like you whimpering.
Yeah, that's what he does.
No, you whimpering, not any connection to comedy legends. No, I was just about to say, I think in terms of stuff to talk about today, we have covered what we wanted to cover on, just talking about PS5, what the channel's doing in the moment with everything going on, and off onto tangents as we so frequently do. Is there anything you wanted to talk about, Lee? Otherwise, I think we'll try and give people like some time in their lives back for a change.
Well, I thought I could tell my interesting Walking Dead story that I alluded to moments ago.
Before you started making up silly nonsense. Okay, carry on.
Okay, so I bought The Walking Dead Sinners and Saints, or Saints and Sinners. I can't remember which way around it is, but it's basically a VR game where you a survivor and you're in the Walking Dead world and there are zombies and you kill the zombies. And it's actually really good fun. It's probably one of the best VR titles I've played. Also, Vader is very good as well. Vader Immortal.
That was good. I played that around yours.
Yes, I've played all 3 episodes of that, and they just keep adding things. You get the Force, and it's wicked. So yes, and it's like £9 an episode. So go buy that. But anyway, Walking Dead, Sinners, Saints, Sinners, whatever it is. So basically, part of the gameplay loop is obviously you're trying to kill the old zombos without using firearms and drawing all the rest of them in, as we know from the TV show. So you can reach out and like grab them by the head and then sort of drive a knife into their eye or something.
Cool. How many times do you scream the word "call"?
No, I was just like, oh, this. Oh, I'll have it back now. Kill. And you can like hold them up and just sort of gently lay them down. Quite funny. But yes, this one time, the weapons unfortunately break, which I'm not a fan of, but whatever. So my knife broke as I knifed this zombie. Another one was coming at me, so I grabbed him by the head. And I'm like, I've got a fist. I'm going to try and use this. This goes badly. And so I give the zombie a right clocking. The zombie goes thud, and my hand travels and like using the Oculus Touch controller as a knuckle duster, squashes my little finger against the opposing Oculus Touch controller. I managed to hit my finger really hard.
Oh, you big baby. Come on.
I was like, oh,
Yep, baby.
Yeah. And it didn't do anything to the zombie. I just ended up throwing him away. Literally throwing him away into other zombies.
Well, at least you got something out of it.
Yeah, a bruise.
Well, if you'd like to comment down below about how absolutely anticlimactic that story was, feel free, because that's what my intent and purpose of this sentence was too.
My suffering should entertain you.
Yeah, it should. So can you make it a bit more suffering like next time? Like play up a bit.
I can't. You're not coming around because of this COVID thing, so I can't suffer.
Yeah, but at least you're going to save money on noodles.
And chicken wings. And Coke.
I'm getting hungry now. I need to go and eat some food.
He's a right little guzzle bucket when he comes around, he is.
Oh, is that my nickname?
Guzzle bucket.
It's a good one. It's better than wanker, isn't it?
No, I'm all right with that.
See, that's better. Right, I think we'll draw this podcast / status update to a close then.
Yes, I have many games to play on fancy settings. Yeah.
So, guys, if you have liked what you've seen and heard here today, not that much to see, more like to hear. Thanks for sticking along to the whole end of the podcast. But we do have videos coming out every Wednesday and Saturday. But at the moment, that's probably not quite true. We'll see how that goes over the next few weeks and months. But please like and subscribe and all the good stuff. Helps out the channel. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much.
Ring the bell.
And ring the bell, yeah. So until next time, take care, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
I'm not going to say it.
Go on, you want to.
Okay, love you, bye-bye. Not you, Lee.
I don't think so.
See you later, guys. Bye.